أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله.
Lajna Imaillah was the first auxiliary to be established by Hazrat Muslim Maud Ta'ala, prompted by his wife, Hazrat Ambareen Begum Saheba. We can now see the vision that Hazrat Muslim Maud Ta'ala had for Ahmadi women for their participation in the success of the community.
What started with 13 women in Qadian is now spread all over the world in over 190 countries.
Amongst the 17 objectives that Hazrat Muslim Maud Ta'ala put forward when he established the Lajna Imaillah, one of the aim was that women should strive together to enhance their knowledge and spread this knowledge to others.
सैयदी तुझसे वादे निभाएंगे हम हर कदम अपना आगे बढ़ाएंगे हम मुर्शदी गीत उल्फत के गाएंगे हम हर कदम अपना आगे बढ़ाएंगे हम जो लजना है हम तेरे साथ हैं दिल जिगर और जज्बे तेरे साथ हैं एक इशारे पे जावार जाएंगे हम हर कदम अपना आगे बढ़ाएंगे हम.
À l'âge de 23 ans, qui m'a devenu première présidente de la branche de Phoenix. À l'époque, c'était juste régional et pas national. Mais à la longue, quand ça fait devenu national, les lames ont fait l'occasion pour servir à la Lajna Imaillah pendant 2 mandats.
Depuis qu'on s'invite Madame ambassadeur, depuis qu'on s'invite Madame gouverneur, tu peux faire une vente de charité pour château réduit. Tu peux gagner de la table chaque fois. Madame gouverneur, Madame présidente écrit à nous, dit nous peut donner de la table, tu peux nous dire de faire ça. Ben, pour que c'est le gouvernement, tu peux organiser là. Tu peux faire tout ça casse là-bas.
Mais à la longue, quand ça fait devenu national, les lames ont fait l'occasion pour servir à la Lajna Imaillah pendant 2 mandats.
In 1990, I was elected as Sadr Lajna, and that was a big shock because as a convert, you know, I haven't had the upbringing like the people who are born in the Jamaat, and there are a lot of shortcomings, a lot of things that I don't know and everything. So, but anyhow, by the grace of Allah, everybody was there. We all worked together, and everybody had 3 ex-president, ex-sadr in my amla, and they all helped. We all work as a team.
Alhamdulillah, since I finished my secondary studies, I got to serve Lajna Imaillah at the Majlis level at our branch at Saint-Pierre. And Alhamdulillah, we had very good examples in front of us. Our close relatives, everyone was very much involved in Lajna works. And then, actually, before I got married, I had the opportunity to serve at national level also as a general secretary.
Before I became Sadr, we started doing the proper parda in Mauritius. Lots of people, well, not lots, quite a few people did parda as we know it today, but not many of the Lajna sisters were doing parda. So in the presence of Maulana Javed Saheb, he started a kind of campaign for parda, for burqa, And we all, by the grace of Allah, one by one, we all started wearing parda.
तेरी मोहब्बत में मेरे प्यारे हर एक मुसीबत उठाएंगे हम मगर ना छोड़ेंगे तुझको हरगिज़ ना तेरे दर पर से जाएंगे हम.
Jamaat Ahmadiyya is a well-defined concept. We have a well-structured organization. So when I became Sadr Lajna, and I think it was the case for everyone, so my role and responsibilities were well-defined. I knew exactly, had to read the Lajna constitution, what was expected of me.
And our focus actually is to meet Hazur expectation, what Hazur expects of Lajna Imaillah. I remember when I became Sadr Lajna, the first thing I did was I went through all the correspondence from Hazur.
Our Khalifa, who is God's representative on earth, and everything he says, everything he does, that's our central focus. And then of course, we also have our pledge of the Lajna Imaillah, and then the promise of our bayt. Therefore, in everything that we undertake, we have this in front of us. This is our focus.
And Huzur lovingly sent back letters, and we were so much, we waited so eagerly for those letters. So we had guidance from Huzur. So the work, it wasn't easy, but it was easier.
À l'époque, on disait normal, nous payons un moyen de transport comme aujourd'hui, non? Mais des fois, quand on est là pour faire rapport, pour envoyer, lui comme secrétaire et moi comme président, nous pas habiter dans la même localité. Alors, on a besoin d'un rendez-vous pour écouter un supermarché. Quand il travaille, c'est une enseignante. Alors, quand il sortit du travail, alors, nous joignons un rendez-vous. Moi, je suis sorti pour habiter, c'était une distance. Moi, aller, moi là-bas, nous joignons là. Et là, il présente un rapport, me dire. Après, moi, c'est un rapport là. Et là, il fait ce travail, un peu steady.
And then Huzur sent a format, a very thick dossier, a format for how we should proceed, for the financial thing every year. Everything was in it, it was really easy to follow and really easy to make a report and everything at the end of the year. So then I asked Amir Seb, I said, now we should have an audit as well because we're dealing with money. And he was laughing because he said, with that little money that the Lajna pick up, what's the point, But then I reminded him, I said, it's not always going to be like that. Bit by bit, the money will grow and it'll be more serious. And now, by the grace of Allah, now we're not dealing with hundreds, we're dealing with millions now in Lajna, Alhamdulillah.
Malgré tout moyen du bord qui nous tient, nous ne pas grand chose à l'époque, mais nous, grâce à Allah, nous réussissons notre travail.
Hazur Anwar encouraged us to launch our magazine. We already had it in the past years, the Najm Saqib magazine. And then we got to launch it again. We also have to add that thanks to the different social platforms that we have, like Zoom and Teams and all, over and above the traditional ijlas which we organize, we also have the Sihat Jismani department organizing games, organizing different activities so as to encourage more and more participation from our Lajnas. We also have the Khidmat Khalq department. Therefore, at every level, these departments have been working so as to try to take on board more and more of our members. For example, the Sanat Dastakari, which organized competitions. All departments have been working. They are committed to their work. They are committed to their duties, to their responsibilities. And another positive thing is that when we look at the Nasirat department has been working wholeheartedly, and we look at the achievement of the Nasirat, the way they respond to our programs, our exams, the different competitions in which they participate. Alhamdulillah, it's a very positive response that we have from them.
Islam has taught us our obligations towards our Creator and also towards humanity. So when we are giving time for the Jamaat's work, for Allah's Jamaat, we should not neglect our duties towards our family. Moreover, Hazur Ayadullah Ta'ala has advised time and again office bearers and how they should be good examples in terms of worship of Allah and moral values within their homes, so that they can be havens of peace and spirituality, and also so that their children can benefit and learn from them.
Women have many responsibilities. During my service to the community, I had two main responsibilities in my life. One was my responsibility as a housewife. That means a wife, a mother of 3 children, and one being disabled. And the other responsibility was my service to the Jamaat.
Even after my wedding and with children and all, in one way or other, I always served in Lajna Imaillah.
I was involved in many Jamaat works. I tried my best to do all these things, and it was with the blessings of Allah's blessings and grace, the Khalifa's du'as, and of course the support of my whole family. And I always tried my best to carry out the pledge of the Lajna Imaillah, वक्त और औलाद को कुर्बान करने के लिए हर कुर्बानी के लिए तैयार रहूँगी.
Jamaat work has been a big part of my life for so many years now. I always prayed Allah would grant me a spouse with similar mindset towards Jamaat work. Alhamdulillah, my husband is very supportive and understanding. I try my best to find time both for my household and Jamaat duties.
During the 6 years that I served as National Sadr Lajna, my children were very small then. My parents and my husband helped a lot, especially during Jamaat's function, Jalsa Salana and so on. But for the meals and house tasks, I just plan ahead. And it is just a question of time management and also finding the right balance between Jamaat's work and the house tasks. So I think that we should use our God-given faculties to help and give a hand wherever possible in Jamaat's work, so that we can obtain Allah's pleasure.
As part of our Lajna Centenary celebrations, the Lajna Imaillah Mauritius have launched a Centenary Fund to finance 3 main projects: a recreational center at Belmore, a mission house at New Grove, and to furnish a school in Madagascar through Humanity First. We all know post-COVID, many families have been facing difficult financial situations. But despite this, we have seen a great zeal amongst our Lajna to come forward and contribute to this fund. The spirit of sacrifice is ever present in the minds of our dear sisters.
I can say that as a Lajna, I found most Lajnas willing to come forward to work for Jamaat. I found them, it was in a true spirit of sacrifice, and we were all aware that we were doing it for the pleasure of Allah. Lajna Imaillah funded the mosque, the first mosque in Madagascar, the Masjid Noor in Tana. So this was done with the Lajna Reserve Fund. It is the contribution of Lajna members. And as we don't, most Lajna members at that time, we did work. And then, to finance 1.3 million rupees, around, I think it was $30,000. So it was great achievement, alhamdulillah.
When Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabi Rahimullah alayhi launched the scheme of Maryam Fund, we had lots of noble ladies who came forward and gave their jewelry to the Jamaat. And this was very comforting, and we were very happy also about it.
As I am not a born Ahmadi, my first and foremost duty was to observe the elders. And the first thing that I noticed was their self-dedication, their unwavered faith, their sincerity, their simplicity, and the readiness in serving Jamaat. This amazed me, and especially the elders. They were not young, but they would happily and readily help in any work that needed to be done.
Alhamdulillah, I had the great opportunity to serve as National Sadr Lajna during Hazur historical visit to Mauritius in 2005. And Ambareen Sahib's wife and myself, we had sometimes the opportunity to be part of the delegation who accompanied Hazur and his respected wife during their tour of Mauritius. Once I remember the wife of Hazur Ayadullah Ta'ala, she once when we went to offer namaz in a mosque, she drew our attention to the fact that we were not placing the chairs in the correct manner. So she corrected this, and this was a very blessing, a great blessing.
The first time that Lajna Imaillah was holding our national ijtima, and it was all very new. Like the first time we had the tables and a big marquee being put on. We were all very stressed because it was the first event that we were going to have. Lots of people will be coming, etc. And so I dreamt that Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salam, he signed on the program. Then it was as if all the stress went out, and alhamdulillah, the ijtima also was a great success.
Alhamdulillah, at the beginning of our tenure, we had the opportunity to have virtual mulaqat with Hazur Anwar, Ayadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasrihi al-Aziz. And then as if that came at that particular moment when we just took office, and everything that Hazur al-Aqdas gave us as guidelines, we just go over it again and again.
My most memorable moment was visit Huzur to Mauritius in 2005. Having Huzur face to face, talking to Huzur was overwhelming. I remember that I couldn't even talk, my voice wasn't coming out. I got so emotional. Huzur's advice were very precious and very enlightening. I remember that after that meeting, when I came for mulaqat with Huzur, and when I entered the office, Huzur saw me and said, "Oh, General Secretary Saheba bhi shamil hai." I was so happy that Huzur remembered me.
खिलाफत के बिना अपना नहीं कुछ भी गुजारा है यही जुल्मात बहरोबर में एक अपना सहारा है कोई
With the approval of Hazur Anwar, we have set our motto for this year. وَأَتَّسْوِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Hold fast all together to the rope of Allah. And that's the central message which we have for all our members. One interpretation of the robe of Allah being Khilafat, being attached to Khilafat. It's this fundamental point, it's this basic message that we want our Lajnas to pass on to their children, to pass on to their future generation, that we don't have any life without Khilafat. We try our most to be committed to our duties. We are aware that we are accountable for that. We'll have to give answers to what we've been doing. It's an amanat for us. But the most important thing for us is to make sure that our children and next generations, they keep up with the same zeal, even much better than us, so that when we present ourselves before our Creator, we have that peace in our heart that we've accomplished our duties wholeheartedly.
नूनिहालाने जमाअत मुझे कुछ कहना है, पर है ये शर्त के ज़ाए मेरा पैगाम ना हो। चाहता हूँ कि करूँ चंद नसाए तुमको, ताकि फिर बाद में मुझ पर